Okay, bachcho. Now, just we derived that for the quadratic polynomial, the sum of the zeros, that is the minus b by a. B, that means the coefficient of x, and a, that means coefficient of x square, right? And the product of zeros, that is equal to c by a. That is equal to c, that means a constant term in our polynomial, and a, that means coefficient of x square. Now, in our NCERT textbook, now we can solve the question number 1. Exercise 2.2. In that we have the question 1. What the question? Find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomials and verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. We are taking a few examples of that. Okay. Very first example that I taken. It's a x square minus 2x minus 8. This polynomial we have. First of all, we calculate the zeros of this polynomial, right? So for that, x square minus 2x minus 8, that I will compare with the 0 because I want to find out the zeros of this polynomial. Now I have to do the factorization of this, and it's a trinomial. It's not a perfect square trinomial. So we will do the factorization by splitting the middle term. So what the coefficient of first term? 1. What the coefficient of last term? That's minus 8. So the product is minus 8. If the product is negative, so splitting of these two terms, that should be a subtraction 2. So 8, we need the two factors of 8, that subtraction should be 2. See, listen with you. Remember, if your product is negative of the first and last term, so for this number, the product subtraction should be like your middle term. And if this one is a positive, so splitting of this number in a two factor, that addition should be like a middle term, right? Here our product is negative. So we will divide the 8 into the two factors, that product should be 8. But that subtraction should be 2. So for the 8, I can do the 4 and 2. These are the best option we have. Okay, otherwise 8 ones are 8 also option we have. But 8 and 1 subtraction is 7. So, and we require what? 2. So, I will select the factor what? 4 to the 8. 4 and 2 both are the factors of 8. That product is 8 and that subtraction is 2. Now, it's a time to give the sign. Okay. So, when the subtraction take place, when the one term is negative and another term positive. If the same sign is there, so addition will take place. Right? So here the splitting we are doing for middle term. So middle term sign minus, that goes to the greater factor, and opposite sign to the smaller factor. So what I can write down? X square. In the place of minus 2x, I will write down the two splitting term. One is the minus 4, and here it's not a splitting for only minus 2, it's a 2x. So I have to write down here x also. Okay, and another splitting term is a plus 2x, and minus 8 is there. Okay, and now again we will take the factorization by taking the group of two terms. Okay, now from the first group, what I can take it common? X. What is left from the first term? X. Minus 4 into x. X we take common. So what left? 4. Plus, from these two terms, first term positive, so I taken positive common. So no any change. And 2 is also there. So we can take it common 2. So what is left from the first term? X. Minus from 8 we taken common what? 2. So 2 4s are 8. Right? And now again from these two terms, what we can take it common? In these both the terms, I have the x minus 4 as a common factor, so I will take the x minus 4 common. So what left? Here it's a x and here it's a plus 2, and that is equal to 0. So as we discussed, at the time the product, right, any one term will be 0. So either x minus 4 will be 0 or x plus 2 will be 0. Okay. So when minus 4 shift to the right side, so x will be what? Plus 4. And here x will be what? Minus 2. So which are the two zeros? It's a 4 and minus 2. Okay. So it's it's the first point, find out the zeros. So we calculated the two zeros of this polynomial are 4 and minus 2. Now let's verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of the polynomial, right? So for that, whatever the two zeros we derived, that we will labeling as a, let alpha is equal to 4 and beta is equal to minus 2. Without assumption also you can do it, right? Suppose without assumption, if you want to say, now we will write down the sum of the zeros first of all and the product of the zeros. Now what the formula for sum of the zeros? That's a minus b by a, but that we will write down later on. The sum of the zeros, which are the two zeros for us? It's a 4 plus minus 2. These two are the zeros that we are making addition. So 4 plus minus 2. So my answer is plus 2. And now forget about this part. Now start with this second part. Sum of the zeros we already done. Now we want to derive this relation. That means the coefficient of x and coefficient of x square. It should be minus b by a, and it should be like this answer. Okay. So now I am not writing anything here further. Okay. Now the second part, minus b by a. What is the value of b? So look at our polynomial. Here my polynomial is x square minus 2x minus 8. When I compare here with the ax square minus 2x minus bx plus c's, with the general form we will compare. Okay. So what the value of a? Here x square coefficient is a, here x square coefficient is 1, here x coefficient is b, here x coefficient is minus 2. So value of b, that is equal to minus 2. Constant term c, here constant term minus 8. So value of c is minus 8. Now we will utilize these values here. Okay. So now another part, minus b by a. What the value of b? Minus 2. What the value of a? 1. What the minus 2? That is the coefficient of x. B is the coefficient of x. Okay. And in the denominator, what we have? Coefficient of x square. That is the 1. Coefficient of x square a, coefficient of x square, that is 1. Okay. What the answer of this? Minus minus becomes plus. 2 in the denominator 1. So overall answer is what? 2. So both are equal. So this way derive the relation between the sum of the zeros and the coefficient of the polynomials. Now come to the second point. Product of the zeros. Here which are the two zeros? 4 and minus 2. Now we will take the product. 4 in another bracket minus 2. Plus minus minus. 4 2s are 8. Okay. Now stop here. Now come to the second part. C by a. What is the value of c here? Minus 8. That coefficient part now we will discuss. Minus 8. That's a c upon a. What the value of a? 1. Minus 8, that is what? Coefficient of, it's a constant term. Okay. C, that is a constant term. And a, this value is what? 1. That is what? Coefficient of x square. And now look at here, minus 8 upon 1. What answer? Minus 8. So that means product of the zeros minus 8. And if I compare with the coefficient, that is the c by, that is again the same answer. The sum of the zeros, that is the 2. When I compare with the coefficient, again I get the answer, that is minus b by a, that is the 2. So this way we can verify the relation between the zeros and the coefficient of the polynomials. Now take the another example. It's a question number 1, the sub question 2. Suppose I will give the name of this polynomial p of s. Okay. First we will calculate the zeros of this polynomial. So I will compare this polynomial with what? 0. That means s square minus 4s plus 1 is equal to 0. 4s square, sorry. Okay. Now this polynomial, it's a perfect square polynomial, right? So we do the factorization by the perfect square polynomial. How we can recognize it? See, 4s square, the square root is what? 4 the square root is 2, s square root is s. Last term 1, the square root is 1. And multiply by 2, that's your middle term, 4s. So this way you can identify this trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. Okay? We can do the factorization by splitting the middle term also. But if you recognize it's a perfect square trinomial, so it's easier for us for the calculation point of view. So it's a perfect square of 4s square, the square root is 2s. Middle term sign minus and 1, the square root is 1 the whole square. Here we are following the identity a square minus 2ab plus b square. So what the factor? A minus b the whole square. This we followed here. So here we have the two factors, but both are same. 2s minus 1 the whole square. So 2s minus 1 and 2s minus 1. That means 2s minus 1 is equal to 0 or 2s minus 1 is equal to 0. That means s is equal to minus 1 goes to right side plus 1, and from the multiplication 2 it will goes to the denominator. So s answer will be 1 by 2. Here s will be again 1 by 2. So here both zeros are same. See, in the graph of the polynomial we discussed about this part. For the quadratic polynomial, the graph of the quadratic polynomial is the parabola upwards or downwards, and it can be intersect with the x-axis either in a 2 points or in a 1 point or in a no any point, right? So here both the zeros are same. That means the graph of this quadratic polynomial will intersect with the x-axis in only 1 point. Okay. Now see, these are the two zeros. So we will write down here. Zeros are 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. These are the two zeros. And now we will verify the relation between the zeros and the coefficient of the polynomial. Right? So for that I will again write down the polynomial, that is the 4s square minus 4s plus 1. Now compare with the standard quadratic polynomial. So s square coefficient, that is the a, that is equal to 4. S coefficient, that is the b, that is equal to minus 4, and the constant term c, that is equal to 1. So we have to change here the coefficient of not s, x, it's s. It's s square and it's s square. Okay. Now see, sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. Which two are the zeros for us? 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So I will make the addition 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Here you can see for the fractional number, but the denominator is same. So the LCM is what? 2. Numerator 1 plus 1, that is the 2. So overall answer is what? 1. This is the one part. Now come to the second part. For the coefficient, the sum of the zeros will be the coefficient of s upon coefficient of s square and minus. Okay. So the coefficient of s, that is equal to what? B, that is the minus b by a. Okay. Now come back again. Minus, what the value of b? That's a minus 4. What the value of a? 4. Now you can see here minus minus plus. So 4 by 4 cancel out, the overall answer is 1. So both are same. Sum of the zeros and the minus b by a. Now product of the zeros. Which are the two zeros? 1 by 2. We will take the product with again 1 by 2 because both the zeros are same. 1 by 2 multiply 1 by 2. So 1 ones are 1 and 2 twos are 4. Further, I will write down, I will not make it equal. First I will derive. Now the constant term and the coefficient of s square. Constant term, that is the c. Coefficient of s square, that is the a. Now what the value of c? 1. What the value of a? 4. You can see here these both the answer same. So I can write down its equal. Okay. Now take the another example. Please write down all the things. I will drop only this part, so I need not write down it again and again. For you there is no any facility. For me it's okay. Now we will take the another example. We are taking the example number 3. That is the 6x square minus 3 minus 7x. Okay. First we will labeling this polynomial as a p of x. Okay. Now to find out the zeros of this polynomial, first of all we will arrange it. So p of x is equal to 6x square in a standard form, minus 7x and minus 3. Now to find out the zero, I have to compare my polynomial with 0. So that is the 6x square minus 7x minus 3 equal to 0. Now it's not a perfect square trinomial, so we will factorize by splitting the middle term. What the coefficient of x square? 6. What the coefficient of last term? Minus 3. The product is minus 18. 6 3s are 18 plus minus minus 18. Here the product is negative. So we need the two factors of 18. That subtraction should be middle term 7. Okay. So 18, that means 18 ones are 18, but subtraction is what? 17. So we will not use it, right? 6 3s are 18, but 6 and 3 the subtraction is 3. So again it's not useful for us. But one more factor, that is 9 2s are 18. So you can see here 9 and 2 the subtraction is 7. So this one is a perfect fraction for us, right? Now it's a time to give the sign. So middle term sign goes to the greater factor and opposite sign to the smaller factor. So how we will write down 6x square? In the place of minus 7x, I will write down the minus 9x and plus 2x and minus 3 equal to 0. Now the first two terms, last two terms. From the first two terms, what we can take it common? So number wise 3 and the variable x. So 3 we can take it common and x also we can take it common. So 3 2s are 6. So I will write down here 2. From the x square we taken x. So x is left minus 3 3s are 9. So 3 is here left. X we have already taken common. From these two terms, right? First term is positive. So we will take it common plus. So there is no any change further in the bracket. And no any another number common, so nothing is common, so 1 always we have to take it. So now the rest of the terms are as it is, 2x minus 3, that is equal to 0. Now again you can see these two are the equal factors, so that we can take it common. So 2x minus 3 and the rest of the part 3x and plus 1 equal to 0. So any of 1 will be 0 at a time. So 2x minus 3 will be 0 or 3x plus 1 equal to 0. So what the value of x will show? It's a minus 3 goes to right side plus 3 and 2 in the denominator. So 3 by 2. And what is here? It's a x equal to plus 1 goes to right side. It will be minus 1 and 3 multiplication to division. Right? Now, so these are the two zeros for us. Which are the two zeros? 3 by 2 and minus 1 by 3. 3 by 2 and another one is a minus 1 by 3. These are the two zeros. Okay. And now we will verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient. So now our polynomial is the 6x square minus 7x minus 3. When I compare with the standard quadratic polynomial, so x square coefficient A, x coefficient is b and the constant that is the minus 3. Okay. Now sum of the zeros. So the zeros are 3 by 2 and plus minus 1 by 3. So now look at here, right? Plus minus minus. So 3 by 2 and minus 1 by 3. Now take the LCM. So 3 and 2, the LCM is 6. So to make it 6, we have to multiply here 3. So numerator 3 3s are 9. And here 3 2s are 6. So numerator will be minus 3 2s are 6. So 2 1s are 2. So it will be 7 by 6. Okay. Now come to the another part. That is what? Minus the coefficient of, again here we have the x. So we have to change it by x. Okay, coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. So minus coefficient of x, that is what? That's a b. It's a minus b by a. So what the answer for that? Minus what the value of b? Minus 7. What the value of a? It's a 6. And now you can see here minus minus becomes plus. Okay, so 7 by 6. So it's verified. Now the product of the zeros. So product of the zeros, we have the 3 by 2 and the another one is a minus 1 by 3. Plus minus minus 3 will be cancelled out. What left? Numerator 1 and denominator what? 2. Now take the another part. Constant term divided by the coefficient of x square, that's c by a. What the value of c? Minus 3. What the value of a? 6. Now you can see here 3 2s are 6. So our answer is what? Minus 1 by 2. Okay, so this way we can verify. Okay, wait, so take the another example. The fourth number example. Let our polynomial p of u, that is given to us 4u square minus 8u. Here the variable that is u, so that's why we given the labeling that is p of u. Okay. Now to find out the zeros, I will compare this polynomial with what? 0. So that means 4u square minus 8u equal to 0. Now we can take it common here 4 as well as u. So 4 we taken common, from the u square we taken common u. So u multiply u, that is u square, so 1u left. Minus 4 2s are 8, so 2 here left and 2 we already taken, that is equal to 0. 4 never be 0, so either u will be 0 or 4 is a constant number, it never be 0. So u minus 2 equal to 0. So what the value of u? 2. So these two are the zeros, right? So we will write down here again. Which are the zeros? 0 and 2. Okay. Now we will verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient, right? So our polynomial p of u is equal to what? 4u square minus 8u. Here no any constant term, so we will consider as what? 0. Okay. So when I compare here with the standard quadratic polynomial, so u square coefficient a 4, u coefficient minus 8, that is b, and the constant term nothing is there, so we have to take it as a 0. Now come to the sum of the zeros. The sum of the zeros are the 0 plus 2. So my answer is what? 2. Okay. And now after this, come to the another part. It's a minus b by a. So what the value of b? Minus 8 upon what the value of a? 4, and minus sign is there. Okay. So now you can see here minus minus plus 8 by 4, and 8 by 4 you can easily say equal to what? 2. Now product of the zeros. So 1 is 0 is the 0, another 0 is the 2. So 2 into 0, that multiplication is 0. Now come to the other part. The product of the zeros that equal to c by a. C, that is what? 0 upon a, that means what? 4. If the numerator is 0 and denominator is a non-zero, so overall answer is what? 0. Right? Take one last example from our exercise. Okay, bachcho? Here remember you have to write down u, bachcho. U, then here u square. Variable u is there, so we have to use it u. X is there, so we have to use it x. Okay. Now take the another example. The another example given in our textbook, that is the fifth example. It's a t square minus 15. Okay. Again, we will assume it like p of t. Okay. Now to find out the zeros, we have to compare it with 0. So t square minus 15 equal to zeros. We can find out the zeros of this polynomial by the two different ways. Both I am explaining you. the t square, that factor, both the terms are there. Between that we have the minus sign. So make the factorization. So t square square root t square minus b square, a plus b and a minus b. So t square square root is t. 15 the square root, nothing possible. So root 15 plus and another one is minus. That is equal to 0. So t plus root 15 equal to 0 or t minus root 15 is equal to 0. So here the value of t will be minus root 15. That's a 1 0 for us. And here it's a plus root 15. It's a second 0 for us. And the another way is there. It's a t square minus 15. So minus 15 goes to right side. It's a plus 15. So t will be, when I take the square root, so 15 square root, we didn't get it because it's not a perfect square, but it plus or minus. Okay, so this way again we get the two factors, t plus root 15 and t minus root 15. Okay, bachcho? So our zeros are root 15 and the minus root 15. Okay. Now come to the coefficients. So our polynomial p of t, that is equal to t square minus 15. Here the t square 2 power term is there, but t the power 1 term is missing. So we have to take it coefficient 0. So plus 0t and minus 15. Understood? Whatever the missing term, take it with the coefficient 0. Okay? So the comparison will be easier. Now t square coefficient, that's a 1. T coefficient, that's a b, that's a 0. And the constant term, that is the minus 15. Okay? Now come to the relation between the sum of the and the product of the zeros with the coefficients. Right? So sum of the zeros, we have the 1 0 what? Root 15 plus another 0 minus root 15. So what happened? Root 15 plus minus minus root 15. That subtraction is 0. Come to the other part. The minus b by a, sum of the zeros. So minus value of b is what? 0 upon value of a is what? 1. So 0 by 1 it will be 0. So both are equal. Now the product of the zeros. Product of the zeros, that's a root 15 and the another 0 minus root 15 plus minus minus the product root 15 into root 15. What happened? 15. Right? Root 15 into root 15. That means root 15 the square. And square root the square is what? Square root will be removed. Okay. Now come to the other part. The product of the zeros will be equal to c by a. So now we will verify. Value of c is what? Minus 15 upon a is what? 1. Now you can see minus 15 by 1, that is equal to minus 15. So this way we can verify it. Okay. Last we have to make it here. Use here. Okay. It's the variable is. Okay. So we have to change the variable. It's a t. It's a t square. It's a t square. Okay बच्चों, अब हम अपनी टेक्स्ट बुक का एक्सरसाइज 2.2 उसका क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 डिस्कस करेंगे। क्या कैलकुलेट करेंगे हम? सबसे पहले इसके जीरोस और उसके बाद में कोएफिशिएंट के साथ रिलेशन हम वेरीफाई करेंगे। सो जीरोस फाइंड आउट करने के लिए सबसे पहले तो पॉलिनोमियल को मुझे किसके साथ कंपेयर करना होगा? जीरो के साथ। पॉलिनोमियल को एक लेबलिंग भी ले लेते हैं बच्चों। ओके, सो p of x is equal to क्या करना है हमें? 0. सो 3x square minus x minus 4 equal to 0. नाउ हम इसको फैक्टराइज करेंगे। फर्स्ट टर्म की कोएफिशिएंट 3, लास्ट टर्म की कोएफिशिएंट -4। जो इसका प्रोडक्ट बनेगा वो कितना होगा बच्चों? 4 3 are 12 एंड प्लस माइनस -12। देखो प्रोडक्ट नेगेटिव है, यानी कि 12 के जो भी दो फैक्टर होंगे उसका सबट्रैक्शन मिडिल टर्म की जितना होना चाहिए। मिडिल टर्म में x यानी कि 1x हुआ, तो 12 के दो ऐसे फैक्टर हमें चाहिए कि जिसका सबट्रैक्शन मिडिल टर्म 1 जितना हमें मिले। सो दैट इज सिंपल 4 एंड 3। ओके, एंड सबट्रैक्शन है तो ऑब्वियसली दोनों स्प्लिटिंग टर्म्स को सेम साइन हम नहीं दे सकते, डिफरेंट साइन देना होगा। सो मिडिल टर्म का स्प्लिटिंग हो रहा है तो मिडिल टर्म की साइन माइनस है वो ग्रेटर फैक्टर को देंगे और ऑपोजिट साइन स्मॉलर फैक्टर को। So now come here 3x square in the place of minus x कौन से दो टर्म्स हम लिखेंगे? तो एक तो -4 बट स्प्लिटिंग तो 1x का हो रहा है तो x भी लिखना होगा हमें एंड प्लस 3x एंड -4 इज ऑलरेडी देयर. फर्स्ट टू टर्म्स लास्ट टू टर्म्स इसका ग्रुप बनाएंगे. फर्स्ट टू टर्म्स है व्हाट वी कैन टेक इट कॉमन x दोनों के पास अवेलेबल है वन टाइम. सो 3x स्क्वायर में से एक x ले लिया तो x रहेगा माइनस 4x तो x ले लिया तो क्या रहेगा हमारे पास 4. लास्ट टू टर्म्स nothing is common so one is factor of every term every number and here the first term is positive so we have to take it plus sign here. 1 plus we are taking common so no any sign changes. Okay, and 1 we taken so no any numbers changes, coefficient also remains same. Now here it's a one term, here it's a second term. Among these two we can take the common what? 3x minus 4. So how much left? X and plus 1 that is equal to 0. So that means either 3x minus 4 equal to 0 or x plus 1 equal to 0. So x equal to what? Minus 4, it will shift to the right side so plus 4 and 3 from multiplication to division. That's my 1 0. Another 0 x is equal to what? Plus 1 goes to right side minus 1. Okay, so अब अपने जीरोस लिखेंगे. क्या क्या जीरोस मिले हमें बच्चों? एक जीरो मिला 4/3 और दूसरा जीरो क्या मिला हमें -1. ओके, अब अपने पोलिनोमियल पे आ जाते हैं. जो पोलिनोमियल है मेरा p of x इज इक्वल टू क्या है मेरे पास 3x स्क्वायर माइनस x माइनस 4. ओके, इसको हम स्टैंडर्ड पोलिनोमियल यानी ax स्क्वायर प्लस bx प्लस c के साथ कंपेयर करेंगे तो व्हाट द वैल्यू ऑफ a? x स्क्वायर की कोएफिशिएंट x स्क्वायर की कोएफिशिएंट 3, x की कोएफिशिएंट b, हियर द x कोएफिशिएंट इज -1, कांस्टेंट टर्म दैट इज द -4. ओके, सो जीरोस हमने कैलकुलेट कर लिए बच्चों. अब हम रिलेशनशिप वेरीफाई करेंगे बिटवीन द जीरोस एंड द कोएफिशिएंट. तो सबसे पहले हम क्या लिखेंगे? सम ऑफ द जीरोस. ओके, तो हमारे पास जो जीरोस है कौन कौन से हैं? एक 4/3 और दूसरा कौन है? -1 है. इसका हम सम करेंगे. सो 4/3 प्लस माइनस -1 हमें एलसीएम लेना होगा इसको ऐड करने के लिए. तो 3 इज द एलसीएम. ओके, सो न्यूमरेटर में 4 एज इट इज, यहाँ पे 3 1 जा 3 करना रहेगा हमें. सो दैट इज द 1/3. चलो एक पार्ट हो गया. ओके, अब हम जाते हैं दूसरे पार्ट पे. सम ऑफ द जीरोस का फॉर्मूला क्या है बच्चों? माइनस b by a. b यानी what? Coefficient of, see देखो b is a coefficient of x और डिनोमिनेटर में क्या रहेगा? Coefficient of x square. ठीक है ना बच्चों? चलो नाउ अब हम इसको आगे जाके कंपेयर करेंगे. माइनस b, वैल्यू ऑफ b क्या है मेरे पास? -1. वैल्यू ऑफ a क्या है मेरे पास? 3. आप देखोगे इसका सिंप्लीफिकेशन तो माइनस माइनस बिकम्स प्लस एंड 1/3. तो यही आंसर आएगा. तो ये वेरीफाई हो गया जीरोस और कोएफिशिएंट का रिलेशन. सेम वे प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द जीरोस. मेरे पास एक जीरो कौन सा है? 4/3. दूसरा जीरो कौन सा है? -1. प्लस माइनस माइनस 4/3 को 1 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो क्या लिखेंगे हम? 4/3. चलो प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द जीरोस हो गया. अब कोएफिशिएंट्स की तरफ जाते हैं. प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द जीरोस का फॉर्मूला क्या है बच्चों? इट्स अ c/a. क्या है हमारे पास? c/a. c यानी व्हाट? कांस्टेंट. a यानी व्हाट? कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ x स्क्वायर. ओके, चलो c कांस्टेंट. कितना है कांस्टेंट हमारे पास? -4 अपॉन a. कितना है? 3. सेम आंसर आ गया बच्चों. तो डायरेक्टली हम इसको कंपेयर कर पाएंगे इस तरह से. डन.